Good documentation practice, Wikipedia audio. Good documentation practice is a term in the pharmaceutical and medical device industries to describe standards by which documents are created and maintained. While some GDP/DOC standards are codified by various competent authorities, others are not but are considered CGMP. Some competent authorities release or adopt guidelines, and they may include non-codified GDP/DOC expectations. While not law, authorities will inspect against these guidelines and CGMP expectations in addition to the legal requirements and make comments or observations if departures are seen. In the past years, the application of GDOC is also expanding to cosmetic industry, excipient, and ingredient manufacturers. From the regulatory guidance above, additional expectations or allowances can be inferred by extension. Among these are: the competent authorities are empowered to inspect establishments to enforce the law and the interpretations of the law. Here are some examples where such enforcement has occurred that included departures from GDP/DOC standards. Prohibition against removing pages. The removal of a page would obscure the data that were present, so this is not permissible. Page numbering. The addition of page numbers, particularly in page X of Y format, allows a reviewer to ensure that there are no missing pages. Stamped signatures in Asia, the culture of certain Asian countries, and the controls they employ, are such that their use of a stamp in lieu of handwritten signatures has been accepted. Date and time formats. Dates may be written in a variety of formats that can be confusing if read by personnel with a different cultural background. In the context where different cultures interact, a date such as July 5, 10 can have numerous different meanings and therefore, by GDOC standards above, violates the requirement for being clear. Transcription. A transcription of data, where the original document is not retained, effectively obscures the original data and would be prohibited. Transcription may be helpful where the original is of poor quality writing or is physically damaged, but it should be clearly marked as a transcription and the original retained nevertheless. Scrap paper, post-it notes. Intentionally recording raw data on non-official records is a setup for transcription and is therefore prohibited. Avoiding asterisks as part of the notation of a hand change, where insufficient white space permits a fully notated hand change. A common practice is to use an asterisk near the correction, and elsewhere record the same mark and the notation. The risk is that additional changes are made by another person who uses the same mark, and now the notation can be interpreted to apply to all changes with the mark. Some will therefore advise against the use of the asterisk. Others will accept it, if the notation clearly includes the number of changes that it applies to, such as *3 entries changed above due to entry errors. Chem 13 Jan 2011. There are no known instances of an agency rejecting such a notation. Documentation creation. Document approval. Handwritten entries. Copies of documents. Document maintenance. Document modification. GDP/DOC interpretation. Enforcement. Documentation not contemporaneous. Use of ditto marks. Use of signature stamp. Obscured original data. Use of pencil. Inaccurate records. Hand changes not dated.